What is going on, everybody? It's the Frost, and we're back again for a Monday Night Raw review for Monday, October 29th, 2018, as we are coming off the heels of a not-so-evolutionary Evolution pay-per-view with this show here. And one of the biggest gripes about Evolution was that a couple of the matches felt like they were matches you really shouldn't care about, and WWE really 100% was like, yeah, these two matches you shouldn't care about, because last night we had a 6-woman tag match and they opened the show with a tag team match. So what does WWE do in the grand scheme of not knowing what the fuck to do with things? Let's have a 10-woman tag match. Let's take these two tag team matches and just squeeze them together into one match on Monday Night Raw. Why? Because we can. And it's just one of those things that was just, I don't get why they decided to do that. WWE is Monday Night Raw is in a spot right now that they need to figure out what they're going to do with the Roman Reigns announcement last week. And of course, how did they start this show off? They paid a tribute to Roman Reigns, the same tribute that we saw on SmackDown last week. I believe they did it on NXT as well. And they're just gonna milk the Roman Reigns injury or illness as much as they can all through the night tonight. They will talk about the Roman Reigns announcement last week and the fact that he had to relinquish his Universal title. And of course, they also brought this into the Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose incident after the heel turn at the end of the night. Was basically what they were building towards. And I am kind of intrigued to see where they go with this. We did not get an explanation of why Dean Ambrose turned on Seth Rollins, but where they're going, I am not mad about it. It's definitely going to be interesting to see where they go from here. And this is the one thing I do have a complaint about this. The biggest thing coming out of Raw last week was Dean Ambrose turning on Seth Rollins. Instead of doing the smart thing and starting off Monday Night Raw with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins and continuing that, we start off with Baron Corbin having the Universal Championship over his shoulder as if he's the champion, that is the closest Baron Corbin will ever get to the Universal Championship, let alone outside of the United States Championship he held last year, which he didn't really do anything with it. He's probably never going to hold another championship again, and if he does, it really won't matter. But of course, tonight was the final push to Crown Jewel. We do know that John Cena has been officially removed from the U.S. Open because it is not a World Cup. And yes, I did steal that from Solomonster, who did mention on one of his last few bits that it is a U.S. Open. There is nothing about World Cup, and no, Rey Mysterio does not count for World Cup. For World in Mexico, because he was born and raised in California, USA. And another thing we also had Nia Jax versus Ember Moon. Woo! But something really interesting tonight. We had the Lucha House Party, Kalisto, Lince Dorado, and Gran Metalik make their quote-unquote debut on Monday Night Raw, because these three have been on Monday Night Raw before, and they took on the Revival in what was pretty much, I guess, Revival Country, as they called it. So, what do you think happened there? My question is, with the Lucha House Party making their quote-unquote debut, I guess as a faction, as they debut, is WWE going to finally bring the cruiserweights into where they will go up one-on-ones against main roster stars on Monday Night Raw? Could we see a Cedric Alexander versus a Seth Rollins, a TJP versus somebody, a Mustafa Ali versus a Dean Ambrose, a Elias versus Brian Kendrick or something? Would we see a Drew Gulak versus a Seth Rollins? That'd be another good match right there. Jack Gallagher versus Dean Ambrose, and so on and so forth. All those. Are we going to start seeing integration of the cruiserweights, or was this just a way to bury the Revival in their home state or home country? They say, as they said, it was Revival Country. I guess they're from the Carolinas. I don't know. It was interesting to see that they did bring Lucha House Party into WWE's main roster. As I said, we started off with Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar. Instead of doing the smart thing, which I would have done if I was running the show, we ended the show with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. We would have started the show with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. We still have no confirmation on what's going to be happening to the tag team titles. Even after last week, even the announcers all night long during 2 different tag team matches, which was a triple threat tag team, and then the Lucha House Party versus the Revival, questioned what's going to happen to the tag team titles with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins being tag team champions, but, divided now because Dean Ambrose turned on Seth Rollins. But Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar throw down before Crown Jewel.
Ladies and gentlemen, and Mr. General Manager, you too as well, we live indeed in historic times. 4 days from now, history will be made once again when my client, Brock Lesnar, takes that championship back home and places it over his massive shoulders.
Let's hope not.
In order to do that, Brock Lesnar has to beat Braun Strowman. Here's a heads up. This Friday at WWE Crown Jewel, Brock Lesnar will beat Braun Strowman. I'm telling you something in advance. How often do you get that opportunity? How often do you get to know for a fact, 100% guarantee, history is going to happen? This Friday, an unparalleled career of milestones and achievements comes to a head when Brock Lesnar F5s Braun Strowman to become, once again, your reigning, defending, undisputed, Universal Heavyweight Champion!
Oh, let's hope not. And there's also a rumor going around before we continue this that the Universal Championship match was going to be kept a triple threat match with adding Drew McIntyre, which I hope does not happen at last minute, because we all know if Drew McIntyre gets somehow inserted in this match for no reason, just because they feel like it, he's taking the pinfall because they don't want to pin Brock Lesnar. I am sort of surprised that they didn't have somebody inserted into this match so they could keep Brock Lesnar from being pinned, but Brock Lesnar needs to lose this match and do the honors for Braun Strowman, go on the UFC, come back whenever after that, and never challenge for a title again. Braun Strowman does come out to confront Brock Lesnar.
At Crown Jewel, I am going to become the new Universal Champion. Because you're gonna get these hands.
So these two are staring each other down, and Baron Corbin tries to get between them so this doesn't reach into a brawl like we've seen a lot with the pull-apart brawls. And he puts his left hand, I think it is, right hand, on Braun Strowman to try and keep him back, and Braun Strowman just looks down and is not having this. Shoves Baron Corbin into the corner. Corbin from behind. Corbin gets hit with one running power slam. Brock Lesnar's laughing the entire time. Turns around. A second power slam.
And look at Lesnar posing with the championship as Strowman slams Corbin.
Brock catch one more time and Brock eggs him on. So a third power slam.
Amused Brock is still a terrifying Brock.
A third power slam. And look at Lesnar.
And then Brock comes up from behind.
Lesnar going for the F5 on Braun Strowman.
And hits a very bad F5.
By Brock Lesnar.
Let's hope not. He guards the title and he poses with it. Now, usually when somebody gets the upper hand and poses with the championship that is not theirs, that signifies that they are not winning the championship. No way, shape, or form do I want to see or hear your winner and new Universal Champion Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar should not be your Universal Champion coming out of Crown Jewel, because in 3 weeks' time we would have a repeat, even though it would be a great rematch from last year. Because we do have confirmation that WWE is going to have Raw versus SmackDown at Survivor Series again, with the first match being named as Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch. The first match at Survivor Series, I cannot wait for that match. That should be a damn good match as long as they do not have... Because Ronda Rousey sold for Alexa Bliss and she sold for Nikki Bella. So she can actually... So it would be great to see what they do with Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey. So if the winner of the Universal Championship match is going into Survivor Series to face AJ Styles in a Universal versus WWE Champion versus Champion match at Survivor Series. Another thing that would, like, with the fact that they're staying with the Raw versus SmackDown, you can expect probably in the next 2 weeks or so an invasion angle between Raw and SmackDown like we've seen in the last 2 years. That did not happen tonight because, and I'll get to that later, the closing segment for tonight was DX versus the Brothers of Destruction. We'll get to that later, and my thoughts on that. We had a rematch between Bobby Lashley and Finn Balor. And the match ended with Balor is 2-0 on Bobby Lashley because Lio Rush got in the way and shoved him. Not once, the referee did not DQ Bobby Lashley off the first shove, but the second one shoves him to the outside. Bobby Lashley gets disqualified and then beats down Finn Balor. Now, after the beatdown happened, Baron Corbin is in the back, and he asked for Lio Rush and Bobby Lashley to meet him in the medical room because he just got beat down by Braun Strowman. And also, before his match against Bobby Lashley, Baron Corbin was being helped to the back, and Finn Balor was coming out for his match, and he just looks at Baron Corbin, who just got his ass kicked, flashes into Too Sweet, and just smiles, and I think he golf claps for him. But after the beatdown of Finn Balor, Lio Rush is looking at his phone. He's like, "Hey, we gotta go. We gotta get in the back." And this is what it is.
Look at this. He said that he wanted me to say something. I think he's in there. I think he's in there. Hey, you want to see us, boss? You okay?
Yeah, I did. Look, I wanted to personally tell you what you just did to Finn Balor. That was impressive. Disrespectful, and he's been a pain in my butt for months now, so it was good to see him finally get his. I mean, after last week...
No, don't talk about last week. You know, last week was a fluke. Finn's good, but Finn is nowhere close to my level.
No, he's not. You're one of the best in the world, and now I'm going to give you a chance to prove it. Because of your performance tonight, you've officially qualified WWE World Cup Tournament Crown Jewel.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about right there. No, wait a minute. I thought that tournament was already full. Who am I replacing?
Someone who didn't qualify. You're going to replace John Cena.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
So the rumors are 100% true that John Cena is refusing to work Crown Jewel. The other part of that rumor was that Daniel Bryan was refusing to work Crown Jewel, and he's still being advertised for his WWE Championship match this Friday. So it will be interesting to see what happens tomorrow night when we see Daniel Bryan, and they've been advertising Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles confrontation tomorrow night. So it will be interesting to see what happens, and will WWE write Daniel Bryan off for that match at Crown Jewel. That is tomorrow. We'll talk about that, and I had to talk about that too later. So Cena's out, and in is Bobby Lashley. They did announce the Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey match. I'm actually looking forward to that. If they're given the time, it should be a damn good match. And then we had the 10-woman tag match: Lita, Trish, Bayley, Banks, and Natty versus the Riot Squad, Mickie James, and Alicia Fox. Why was this match happening? For all the praise that everyone gave Evolution last night, for all the praise that everyone, like all the love and affection that everybody gave to Trish and Lita versus Mickie James and Alicia Fox and Fox. Whatever, I said Fox. And what everyone said, how the Riot Squad and the 6-woman tag match was one of the best tag matches, and it was an almost nearly perfect show. Oh, really? So why are we getting those two matches squeezed together in one for Monday Night Raw? Just shows you how lazy creative is in WWE. When you're going to take two matches from a pay-per-view the previous night and just shove them together. This match was just not even worth watching. The babyfaces won. I really don't care. Natty made Alicia Fox tap out to the sharpshooter after her, and I believe Lita hit a heart attack, which I think should have been the end of the match. So that would have been a great homage to her dad, having her actually win a match with a tag match with the heart attack. But the heart attack, since he passed, has been used on WWE TV as a mid-match move instead of an actual finisher, which in the 80s was known as one of the more devastating tag team finishers in the WWF at the time. Now it's just, hey, it's just a move in rotation. And then we had Elias. Elias performs a lullaby for Baron Corbin because he is a babyface now. He is a babyface now, and it's going to be interesting to see where this goes with Elias. But his first opponent, not really what I would think for Elias in his babyface form.
Call it early because Ric Flair has been wanting to hang out with Elias.
I doubt Ric Flair's in Charlotte right now.
That's right, that's right. So he invites me over earlier and he says, Elias, you are my favorite. And I said, Rick, I know I'm everybody's favorite, but what are we doing here, okay? He says, well, he goes on to tell me that I'm the man, and he's just so happy about what I did to Baron Corbin last week. He says, Elias, I got to relive that. I got to feel that again. So let's air that right now, Rick. This one's for you. Look, we just don't have time to accommodate your performance. You work for me. Get off the stage. I know. I'm glad that's over too. Now look, it is an exciting thing.
To the back. That was nice, please.
I gotta say, as much as it pains me to break one of my beautiful fenders, that felt good. Now listen, I was planning on singing a song to Baron tonight, but, I thought he'd come on out here, but then I saw what happened with him and Braun Strowman earlier, and, well, he just probably can't make it out here, but you know what? This song is just too good, and Baron's not getting off that easy, so... Well, Elias is a giver, and I'm going to come give that music right to Baron Corbin's face. Wait. Yeah. Here we go.
This is an act of cowardice if I ever saw one.
Oh, sir, no need to cry. I know you paid for an Elias performance. You're going to get one.
Finally.
Hey.
Elias, you put me a song?
For you? No.
Dana broke off.
Take that to my dressing room. There we go. Nope. Open up. Go the hell away. I don't care who you are. It just so happens to be Elias, and I've got a song for you, but if you're not going to open up, I don't know if you're on your cell phone or not, but go ahead and silence that. Hold your applause until after I'm finished, and most importantly, Baron, keep your mouth shut.
potential. He could have been the best. But he's a wolf in sheep's clothing, a coward above the rest. So I put you on your face, left you lying in the dirt. And I showed the world that you're just a taller, stupider version of Kurt.
Baron Corbin finally comes out of his locker room.
Join. Smashed you with my guitar. Now your career's in the ditch. You used to be the lone wolf, but now you're just Stephanie's little
Bitch. He's looking at the locker room, and all of a sudden, Jinder Mahal, of all people, come up from behind and sneak attack him.
Jinder Mahal!
They brawl.
Jinder Mahal just ambushing Elias.
So Baron Corbin makes a match right after that with Jinder Mahal versus Elias. Why do you have this babyface run for Elias, and the first opponent he is to face is Jinder Mahal? Really? Elias wins with Drift Away after a short match. Who cares? Jinder Mahal is garbage. He has his two little cronies. How far Jinder Mahal has fallen in the eyes of WWE, where this time last year we were in the reign of terror of Jinder Mahal as WWE Champion, and 1 year later he has to be Baron Corbin's crony to help him try and take out Elias. Yeah, I wonder if he's enjoying his post-WWE Championship run, because it's never going to happen again. We had a Kurt Angle retrospective of his career, and then we would hear from Kurt Angle about Crown Jewel, and quite honestly, it didn't set right with me, with the fact that he said that this would be his greatest accomplishment ever. How can, after everything that you've done, this is going to be your greatest accomplishment ever? Kurt, I don't even know, dude. I don't even know.
I hear the whispers in the locker room, read all over social media, how Kurt Angle must be out of his mind if he thinks he's going to win the WWE World Cup at Crown Jewel.
U.S. Open.
To those who say that, was I out of my mind when I outlasted the competition and won the 2000 King of the Ring? Was I out of my mind when I won the WWE Championship in my rookie year? Was I out of my mind when I won an Olympic gold medal with a broken freaking neck? Maybe I was. But I'll tell you this. Winning the WWE World Cup would mean more to me now than anything I've ever accomplished. So, Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, and my first round opponent, Dolph Ziggler, you better be ready. Because I'm not coming to Crown Jewel to prove that I have one more match. I'm coming to Crown Jewel to prove that once again, I am the best in the world. Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Yeah, coming up with this U.S. Open, because it is not a World Cup, I've already stated that multiple times on these reviews. There is only 4 possible winners, because it's to determine, the tagline is to determine the best in the world. There is only 4 possible winners: Randy Orton, The Miz, Bobby Lashley, and Dolph Ziggler. You're not going to have a babyface win this tournament whatsoever, plain and simple. Whether it's Raw, whether it's SmackDown, it doesn't matter. The winner of this tournament is going to be either The Miz. It's really only going to feel like it's going to be The Miz or Dolph Ziggler, because those two are the only two I believe, especially if you want to have Dolph Ziggler have Drew McIntyre turn on Dolph Ziggler. You would have him win this thing and then just brag about being the best in the world. But it's going to be Miz, Bobby Lashley, Randy Orton, or Dolph Ziggler, because then that person's going to brag that they're the best in the world for the next umpteen months until people get sick of it. And then, again. How many weeks in a row did we have the Ascension versus Bobby Roode and Chad Gable? How many weeks in a row did we have Bobby Roode versus Connor, or Bobby Roode or Chad Gable versus Connor, or Bobby Roode versus Victor, or Bobby Roode versus... It's just, oh my gosh. So, I'm on here waiting for the next commercial to come end, and we see the Ascension in the middle of the ring, and I'm like, oh no. Oh no. And wouldn't you get it? Glorious hits the PA system, and it's Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. But they also added the Authors of Pain. Why is this a triple threat match instead of a normal tag team match? Oh, because about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, the Authors of Pain came down and destroyed both of these teams. And this was the first match where they did mention that the tag team championships are still technically Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. They did not vacate the tag team titles. They are tag team champions. The question is, what are they going to do when we get to Survivor Series? Are they not going to have the Bar or the New Day, whoever's the tag team champions, face off against the Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose tag team, or whoever? They made a big they made a big thing to point out that they're still the tag team champions, but no one knows what's going on with that. Chad Gable and Bobby Roode win this with a German suplex neckbreaker onto Victor for the 3 count. After the match, the AOP beat down everybody, and that was that. And then it was that time we have finally hit the moment that we've all been waiting for. Why did Dean Ambrose attack Seth Rollins? We wanted answers. We wanted to know why. Well, a lot of us did. Even Seth Rollins wants to know why. Would we get those answers tonight, or would we get silence from the lunatic? Seth Rollins vows to turn Dean Ambrose's life into a living hell.
Last week, I became Raw Tag Team Champion for the 3rd time. I'm also feeling kind of sad.
I'm just going to say this. There used to be a time when being a multiple-time champion was a big deal. It doesn't feel like a big deal, the fact that Dean Ambrose is like, what is he, he's a 2-time Raw Tag Team Champion, he's like a 3-time Tag Team Champion, and Seth Rollins is a 3-time, he's a 2-time, and Seth Rollins is 3-time. It just doesn't feel like a big deal that, hey, I'm a 3-time Tag Team Champion. It just doesn't feel like it's a big deal. Why is that? Because, 1, the team broke up last week, and 2, there's no tag team competition. Even if the final 2 members of the Shield didn't have that breakup last week, that there wasn't any competition. The AOP have been nothing. They're trying to make them into something now. We have the B team, who haven't been seen in a coon's age. You have Chad Gable and Bobby Roode, who aren't a tag team. The Ascension, who are garbage. That's about it, right? Right? Oh yeah, the Revival, who got buried tonight. And I guess Lucha House Party now, too.
I should be out here celebrating that with my friend, with my partner, with my brother, Dean Ambrose. But that's impossible because Ambrose turned his back on me, back on the Shield, turned his back on all of us. If I'm being honest, that makes me feel a little guilty because I've been wondering all week if maybe that wasn't my fault. Or maybe what I did 4 years ago, Ambrose just couldn't forgive that. Maybe he held that inside. Maybe he let it fester, and maybe he lashed out. Maybe it was a wrong place, wrong time, wrong person situation.
I do like the fact that Seth Rollins did bring up what happened 4 years ago, and that maybe the reason Dean Ambrose turned on him is that he never forgot, and that it festered inside of him, and he just let it eat away at him, and he chose the night that their brother walked away, because maybe Roman was the peacekeeper between the two. Maybe Roman was the guy who kept that down and kept Dean Ambrose from going and snapping on Seth Rollins. That is definitely great that they kept that into continuity. That was attention to detail that I'm glad that they kept it, and he actually mentioned that.
I don't know. I feel frustrated. I feel confused, and the only person who has the answer is Ambrose. The problem with that is Dean Ambrose is the kind of guy that if he doesn't want to be found, he's not going to be found. So I didn't call, I didn't text, because one thing I did know for sure that I could find Ambrose here tonight. So Ambrose, I am asking you as a friend, as a brother, come on out here and tell us why. You wanted the spotlight, Dean. It's all yours. Come down here and have it.
Dean's music hits, they didn't put it in here, which is fine, but Dean Ambrose was nowhere to be found. All of a sudden, the crowd just starts looking up into the rafters, or the top end of the stage of the arena, to where Dean Ambrose would be.
Okay, all right. So last week you turned your back on the Shield. This week you mocked the Shield. Look, I don't want to know why from all the way up there. Why don't you come down here, get in this ring, face me like a man, and give me the answer I deserve.
Just a stone cold face on Ambrose.
You know what? You know what? At least when I put the knife in your back, I had the decency to stare you in the eye and tell you why I did it. So walk down those stairs. I know you know how to do it. Get in this ring and face me like a man. You know what, man? You really are a cold-hearted
Bastard. He said bastard. He said bastard.
On the most emotional night in the history of the Shield, you spat on us, on everything we stand for. A night when Roman leaves to battle leukemia, and you make it all about you. Somehow, someway, you make it all about you, Ambrose. You know what? You want the spotlight. You want it so bad. You selfish son of I swear. You want it so bad. Well, you got it. Because I am fixed on you for as long as I live, and I'm going to make your life a living hell. Hey, you know what, man? Maybe it wasn't just a nickname. You really are a soulless lunatic. All right, you don't want to come down here. You don't want to come down here, then you stay right there. I'll come up there and beat an answer out of you.
And Dean just walks back up the stairs and walks off. No answer, no explanation, no nothing. Seth is seething. So this will continue till after Crown Jewel. I have a feeling Dean Ambrose is going to get involved in Seth Rollins' match against Bobby Lashley and cost Seth Rollins his match in the World Cup to determine the U.S. Open, to determine the whatever they say best in the world, which it's just bullshit, and we all know that. So it's very intriguing to see what is going to happen with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, with the fact that we have we have only just begun. Then we heard from Lio Rush and Bobby Lashley for the fact of the matter is that he got added into the World Cup and took over for John Cena, because John Cena did say he did not want to be. He pretty much told Vince, yeah, you know what, Vince, you going to Saudi Arabia? I'm not. And they said, okay, we'll just find somebody else. I didn't like the fact that John Cena was a part of this entire U.S. Open anyway, because everyone else, the other 7 opponents, the other 7 participants outside Bobby Lashley, who I guess qualified somehow, but all the other people had to qualify at least in a match. Yes, the Battle Royal that gave Kurt Angle his chance was a joke, but it was still technically a match. We get into the first night that they mentioned this thing, and boom, John Cena's in without having to do a damn thing. So at least Bobby Lashley had to do something.
Big news earlier tonight from acting general manager Baron Corbin choosing you to replace John Cena in the WWE World Cup tournament at Crown Jewel. What would it mean for you to win and be considered the best in the world?
What does it mean to be called the best in the world? The World Cup is about dominating the field of competition and adding yet another trophy to the big man's record. Okay? This man has done it all. MMA championship, check. Amateur wrestling championship, check. World championship, check.
Yeah, but he has not been in WrestleMania and has never been the WWE champion, so he hasn't done it all, Leo.
Damn it, this man has done it, okay? And you think that Seth Rollins really stands a chance against Bobby Lashley, especially in the state of mind that we just saw him in? Darling, the moral of this story is when you look like money, when you smell like money, when every single last thing that you do is money, then there is a foregone conclusion that Bobby Lashley will indeed prove at Crown Jewel best in the world.
We will see. We will definitely see. Nia Jax versus Ember Moon was next. They did have a little promo earlier in the night that I didn't show because there really wasn't any point of it. But Nia Jax was asked earlier by Charlotte Caruso about her win. She brings in in Ember Moon, and they have a little spat, and then they make a match. This was an okay match, and then all of a sudden, Tamina Snuka's music hits, and both Ember Moon and Nia Jax are distracted for a second, but Nia Jax is like, you know what, the match is still going on, shoves Ember Moon into the corner, hits her with a leg drop, 1, 2, 3, and Ember Moon loses to Nia Jax. Then Tamina Snuka walks into the ring, stares down Nia Jax, smiles, and backs away. If there are if there are tag team championships for the women's division coming, I think they're starting to build the fact that these two, who are Samoans, and are, because one's Jimmy Snuka's daughter, she's definitely, and of course one's the actual Rock's cousin. Tamina is not technically the Rock's cousin. She is, because the the Anawales and the Rocks and Peter Maravilla, or High Chief Peter Maravilla, they're not blood related. They're blood brothers, as in, slice your hand, grab your fist and stuff, and do a handshake or something. That's how they are quote unquote related, but they're not. Nia Jax is, it's just a big complication, but they are all these two are in this dynasty for the Samoans. They are going to get, I can see, after Nia Jax does not win the Women's Championship, if she does, it will be at TLC. If they want to make the Tag Team Championships, this is the way to, it feels like Nia Jax and Ember Moon and Tamina Snuka are following the Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan way to make their tag team, because if anybody remembers in NXT, Burch and Lorcan, except they didn't start off as a tag team. They started off beating the hell out of each other in some brutal matches. And then eventually they're like, hey, you're good, I'm you're good, let's make a team together, and let's do that. They seem to be doing that sort of here with these two. They're going to probably have a match or two, and then eventually, after the tag teams titles are introduced, because yes, they're coming, whether you want them to or not, and I really don't want to see them come. These two are going to probably be a tag team. They could call them the Samoan Queen, the Samoan Princesses, Queens, or whatever they want to call them. They're probably going to be one of the tag teams in this division, and I don't have a problem with that. Just going to be interesting to see where they go from here. Tamina Snuka did back out of the ring, and Nia Jax is just like, what the fuck was that all about? The Lucha House Party made their quote-unquote debut against the Revival. Who do you think was going to win this one? The Lucha House Party did. With a surprise Helena del Sol off the springboard, off the rope. For the 1, 2, 3. And I question this, and I wonder again: is this is the integration of the cruiserweights coming more and more? Are we going to start seeing more matches against cruiserweights against the main roster? I have no idea. I would love to see a Cedric Alexander or Mustafa Ali versus a Seth Rollins, or a Dean Ambrose, or a Chad Gable versus a Lince Dorado, or a Chad Gable versus a Tony Nese. I would love to see those matches. But who knows? Maybe this is a one-time thing. I have no idea. We'll just have to wait and see. Sorry, my throat's kind of dry. And then we had Dolph Ziggler versus Apollo Crews. But before that, these boys had a nice little promo for Crown Jewel. Dolph Ziggler claims he is the best in the world and claims he will win what I'm calling it, and I'll say it again, the U.S. Open, because there is no world to this World Cup.
This Friday, WWE Crown Jewel. And I know I got my eyes on the prize. Big man, what are you looking forward to most in the Crown Jewel? Tell us what's on your mind.
But now that we have finally broken the shield, our full undivided attention, my full undivided attention will be squarely on one match at Crown Jewel, and that is Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman for the Universal Championship.
Yeah. That makes sense. Whoever wins that Universal title match is going to have a target on their back and a Claymore kick in their face. I know it. Now that makes sense. What doesn't make so much sense is Kurt Angle saying he's going to win the World Cup. We've done nothing but tell the truth since the very beginning. And I'm going to do it again right now. A lot of people know this. My entire career, I have looked up to Kurt Angle, hell, most of my life. For what he did for collegiate wrestling, what he did in the Olympics. He won an Olympic gold medal with a broken freaking neck. Without guys like Kurt Angle, he did a great thing for our country. It was awesome. But without guys like Kurt Angle, guys like Dolph Ziggler wouldn't exist in WWE. You got to remember something, Kurt. I'm Dolph Ziggler, and you're not. You see, I am going to cement my legacy when I win the World Cup. All the years, all the hard work, breaking records in college, stealing show after show after show, I will cement my legacy and I will win the World Cup. Now tonight, you're going to need an example because I'm such a nice guy. You're going to get an example of what's going to go down at the World Cup in a second right here. But just remember this, I am the best that has ever walked down
So he went up against Apollo Crews. I have a question with this thing. What was the point of having Apollo Crews a couple weeks ago come out after being gone when the Dana Brooke broke up? Dana Brooke pretty much broke up Titus Worldwide. And then he was gone for a while. He interrupts Elias, has a couple matches with Elias. I'm pretty sure he lost both of them. And then he comes out here and he loses again. What is the point of having this guy who has all potential in the world to actually be something if they would let him come out, act like he's a new man, act like he's got more new motivation, and what is he doing? Like, what are they doing with him? Is he just a jobber for the stars? I just don't get what they're doing with him. But yes, Dolph Ziggler wins this match. I guess since he's had a new attitude, Apollo Crews is still looking for his first win his first win since then. And then we came down to the main event segment of the night, 2018. This is 2018, right? Not 2008, not 2007, not 2006, 2005, 2004, 2003, when this match should have happened in one of those years. But no, this is 2018. And in the main event spot of a Monday Night Raw, the main event segment is for 4 guys in their 40s and 50s. So, yeah, WWE is like, our priorities are Crown Jewel and Legends and anything else. Why the fuck do we care about you? We don't. WWE just pretty much is like, well, fuck the new stars. Fuck everybody young. We're not going to worry about putting you guys over because, hell, you don't get the reactions. Whose fault is that? You guys, like, WWE puts so much time into their nostalgia feels that a Bayley, a Sasha Banks, a Seth Rollins, a Dean Ambrose, a Drew McIntyre don't feel as special as a Shawn Michaels, a Triple H, a Trish, a Lita, an Undertaker, a Kane will. It's just like terrible the fact that they just want to sit there and just use WWE. Like use nostalgia in WWE instead of building new stars. It's pathetic. Like, why do we have Nikki Bella in the main event of a pay-per-view that should have been about evolving instead of, just let's talk about the past. Let's have the legends. We had Trish and Lita on tonight's show for absolutely no goddamn reason other than the fact that they can. It's just pathetic, and it's just downright wrong, the fact that WWE wants to continue to reach into the bag of nostalgia. 10 years from now, when Undertaker is probably long gone, or is so crippled up that we can't even see him, he can't even wrestle anymore. Same thing with Shawn Michaels, same thing with Kane, same thing with Triple H. 10 years from now, even if they're able to even try and do anything, is WWE still going to rely on these 4 guys? 10 years from now, a Kevin Owens, a Seth Rollins, a Dean Ambrose, hopefully Roman Reigns is back by then. Hopefully Roman Reigns is able to do something, which they did show a tribute to him halfway through the thing. They showed some people from some kids from the Children's Hospital, because last month was Connor's Cure, Pediatric Cancer Month. Awareness Month, and they showed Roman Reigns going to talk to a couple kids at a hospital. I think it was St. Jude's Children's Hospital, and 4 of these kids were shown. And I'm telling you right now, just WWE trying to make me get emotional a little bit is one of those things. But I do want to applaud Charlotte or North Carolina, wherever they were at. I think it was Charlotte, for when that package was done, just standing up and all with a massive chant for Roman Reigns, which I know I wouldn't have said 2 weeks ago, and there were a couple signs too that they did show. It was doing it for something for Joe, Roman, you got this, and a bunch of other stuff. I do just want to say that I hope Roman Reigns does make it through this. He was at the arena tonight, by the way. Roman Reigns was. But he left about an hour or so before showtime. And people were wondering, why was Roman Reigns at Raw tonight? Why is he supposed to be here? Was he supposed to do something? My thought is maybe he's one. He is there to talk to Vince about and keep them updated with what's going on with his stuff, with his chemotherapy. B, he was asked to come in to go over a couple things for the Shield breakup. Maybe him and Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose are like working, like Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose are having him with them to, as much as he can, to be able to get this thing to be the way they want it to be, so it's not going to be a total waste of our time, and the entire Dean Ambrose heel turn actually is as special as we want it to be as fans. I was happy with the fact that they did not give us the explanation immediately. Let us wonder, what is it? Don't just be like, bam, and rush to it. We will see what happens. But Monday Night Raw outside was just another show. They were in a spot where they got to figure out what they're going to do to try and elevate people. They need to elevate people. But instead of doing that and elevating other guys and letting other guys get another chance to show WWE, hey, we can do this. We can do this. They just go with same formulaic stuff, and they reserve the main event spot on the show for 4 guys who are well past their prime and shouldn't even be a part of WWE right now. They should all be off retired. HBK and Triple H could be running NXT. Kane should be going to be his governor, doing his mayoral duties, and Undertaker is off riding his bike somewhere or whatever the hell he would do. But nah, let's give the main event spot to these guys, because WWE has no creativity for anybody else. It is definitely sad how bad WWE creative is. Same formula crap, and we're just going to continue this stuff on for the next umpteen months. WWE has no plans to get better and no plans to actually do anything to give anyone else a chance. If your name's not Roman, WWE doesn't care still. What are they going to do if it comes to the fact that Roman Reigns, I'm hoping this isn't the case, but what are they going to do when if Roman Reigns can't come back? If Roman Reigns can't do anything? I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping he gets better, and hopefully we can see him again so we can sit there and boo him or hate him or whatever else. But WWE has to start building other stars, not named Shawn Michaels, not named Triple H, not named Undertaker, not named Kane, not named Roman Reigns, because what are they always have to have that what if he can't come back? What if? Because right now it just felt like tonight they're just biding their time. They're going to do what they can to get to the night that Roman Reigns finally makes his return. What are they going to do if he can't come back? That is something they need to look at. What if he can't? What if he won't be able to? Because I already said it, he's not going to be back for another year. Are they going to at least a year? At least a year. Because even if he, say he puts it in remission or finally beats it by WrestleMania time this year, he's going to have, because I'm pretty sure he's not going to be able to sit there and train and keep himself in peak physical condition as he battles this stuff. He has other things he has to do. He has to sit there and work hard enough to try and beat this thing. So even if he was able to beat it, my question still is, would he be able, he would still be gone for at least a year. It just sucks that WWE doesn't seem to be ready to move on though. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what else to say about it. But that was Monday Night Raw. Crown Jewel is this Friday. I will not be covering it. I have no reason to cover it. I don't want to see or hear anything about Crown Jewel. All I want to know is that when we get to Monday Night Raw next week, we have a new Universal Champion in Braun Strowman. If it's not Braun Strowman, WWE has completely and utterly fucked up. But find me on Twitter at TheFrance. Find me on twitch.tv/TheFrance08. Hit that subscribe button. Comment down below. Like or dislike this video. Let me know what you think of Monday Night Raw. And I usually would be here tomorrow night for SmackDown Live, but I'm going to have to miss SmackDown Live tomorrow night. I will have a video up on Wednesday morning, NXT UK tomorrow Wednesday night, and then NXT on Thursday, and then of course Unscripted on Saturday. My question is, when it comes to NXT, why Johnny Why? We will talk about that Thursday morning. And of course, because I'm not going to be here tomorrow because my girl's birthday is tomorrow. I'm going to be spending the day with her and her 2 kids and all that stuff. I will see you guys here Wednesday morning for SmackDown Live 1002's video review. Until then, my name is TheFrance. I will see you guys Wednesday morning and Wednesday night for a SmackDown NXT UK, which is going to be 2 hours of NXT UK as they are speeding up the process so we can get the end. I'm pretty sure they're doing this and they're doing 2 hours of NXT because they want to get the NXT UK Women's Championship into continuity, because WWE realized at the last minute that, oh shit, we don't have the NXT Women's Championship available. We have to sit there and do something about this. Let's speed it up and let's get that gone. Let's get that into continuity so it can actually it should actually exist. But I'm getting out of here. You guys have a good one, and I'll see you guys Wednesday morning for SmackDown Live, and then Wednesday night for NXT, 2 hours of NXT UK. Until then, my name is Franz, and I'm getting out of here.